Now, Erica, let's talk about your book, The Strong Female Athlete. I do not have it in my possession right now. I ordered mine. It's in the mail. So why don't you, I mean, obviously I know, but tell our listeners like what inspired you to write this book and how did the process start for you?
So mine was a little bit different than yours. I've been like marinating on writing a book for a couple years because it's like, okay, I've written like so many blogs on female athlete performance training and everyone's always messaging me like, oh, where do I find this blog? And they have to like dig through it. And I was like, okay, well, why not put everything in one guidebook? And I saw that there wasn't a book out there on performance training for female athletes, not just on like the physical side, like speed, strength, and agility, but also the mental side and the sleep, the performance nutrition, the stress management, and all these other lifestyle habits that impact a female athlete's performance. So I just saw a need for this information to be out there. But it's interesting because when I started writing it, I was just like, it's good that I'm putting this there and I'm providing the science behind all this training and the sleep research, impact on injury, and all these things. But I really hope people take what's in the book and embody it, and they take action. And in the final chapters, I tell people that it's really a call to action. Like, look, here are the tools to equip yourself for better performance in sports, but ultimately life. And it's really up to you to implement these day in and day out. And I can only do so much as a coach or a female athlete's team coach or their like mentor can only help them so much. But it's like, the other hours of the week, they're by themselves. They have to face themselves and they have to really take actions that help them in their lives. So it's more of a call to action piece. I think a lot of people would say, well, it's a scientific text, and it is, but it's more just to light a fire under everyone's butts and be like, female athletes need to take responsibility for their performance. They need to own their physical and their mental development. I can't save you.
Absolutely. And I think that's a wonderful message to pass along to these youth athletes. It's like, here, this is everything you basically need to not only get, you know, optimize in like performance, but like your life. Like you go heavily into, and I know because we've discussed like, you know, the research that you've been doing and things of that nature, but you really also back it up with heavy scientific data, which is wonderful because, you know, there are, I will, you know, agree with you, like there's limited things on the female, you know, athlete out there in terms of, yes, there is training, but also like the mental side. I feel like there's not a combination of both. There's not a combination of both the strength training, the speed work, the, you know, the format of how you structure your programs and what you've seen success with. And then complement that with a holistic lifestyle and, you know, the mental aspect and like the confidence barrier that a lot of young females, young girls, young athletes, young women are experiencing. And also, I will say that it is an excellent resource for coaches. Like this is going to help you, you know, get your team to the next level, but also like help you understand what the female mindset is like, because it's much different from training, you know, boys and males. It's much different. And I think that it's great because you're having us really be more aware and mindful of that and you know, not coddling them too much, but also giving them some tough love, but not too much tough love. So where it would like deter them from like sports for life. So why don't you read us a little bit of your, you know, just same thing, flip a page and see where it ends up.
All right, I will soon. And I do want to just add on to what you said. It's like
Yes.
that holistic approach needs to be normalized now, because the bare minimum is every female athlete needs to strength train. That's the non-negotiable. You're doing the bare minimum, but people still don't do the bare minimum, yet
Right.
they're still complaining, well, ACLs are on the rise, there's overuse injuries and burnout. And it's like, well, you guys aren't even doing the bare minimum. And then once you are doing that strength training, then it's like, okay, that's 10% of female athlete performance. Congratulations. Let's talk about performance nutrition. Let's talk about why you need to stop static stretching them. Let's talk about why you need to stop icing their muscles and making sure they're getting good sleep. It's like all these pieces that people just, it's still new, just kind of like in your book, all these lifestyle habits that girls do when no one's watching. Every rep they put in outside of team practices and training matters most than when they're with me, matters more than when they're with me. And it's like, I just want people to understand from this book, and I say this over and over again, you have to master the mundane. It's going to be a common theme in your performance and just in life.
Mm-hmm.
You brush your teeth every day, you shower, you move every day, hopefully. Like, these are things that just need to be daily practices. So that was just one of the things I hope people really get from this. I just want, like, I can see like people getting the book and like really excited that, you know, sales are coming in, but it's like, please do something, take something from this text. That's why I wrote it. Like,
Yeah. I actually want to add on real quick because this like really hits home. So one of my clients, Carlos, shout out to Carlos. He's an amazing
yes,
coach.
Carlos.
Yes, he's a big fan of you. And he was explaining, he deals all soccer, right? And he trains youth female athletes, like soccer, obviously specific. And he was explaining to me how there's, you know, a 10-year-old girl that he's coaching, and she complains about her knees all the time. She is 10 years old and she is having such bad knee pain that she like collapses pretty much. Like, it blows my mind that a 10 going through this and like can't. So I told him, I'm like, give her or tell her to get Erica's book, because like she needs these resources, she needs these tools. And it's just like mind-blowing. And then also, you know, on the flip side of things, like as a coach, like, and if you're getting a lot of these girls, right? And in the soccer community, like I like if you're coaching in high school, right? These ladies are probably doing like 3+ times a week of also travel team. So that you have to take that into consideration, right? And as a coach, you have to be super mindful of like what you're doing with these young athletes. Like, how are their bodies adapting? Is it helping them or is it harming them?
Yeah, dude. And that's another thing. It's like just calling out the coaches, and I call them out. I'm like, you know, your female athletes could be seeing a performance coach outside of practices, but if you're damaging them when they're at your practices, Russian twists, high volume plyometrics, not looking at form and deceleration technique, then that's polluting what's good with their performance training. It's not as useful, and you're still hindering their performance and also when they're going through their growth. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now, just I turn to the confidence chapter because I
Let's see
think
what
like
we got.
this one is the most important, because again, it's like strength training, bare minimum. You need to be doing that, non-negotiable. I don't even know what to tell you anymore. We're in year 2021. We're about to go into 2022. So like everyone get with it. So I'll read this. Confidence truly is a muscle. It does not come from being complacent, nor does it come from expecting it to magically appear. It births from imperfect action, risk-taking, stimulating the mind and body, and pushing past the next threshold. Over the years in my coaching career, the one thing that parents always asked of me was to help their girls' confidence. I became flabbergasted that this was a common theme time and time again, and I continued to try to figure out why. I was seeing girls outsource their happiness to others. They were afraid to make mistakes, they were crippled by failure, and they sought approval. This caused them to play it safe on the pitch and unable to let their inner gem shine. Confidence never comes from staying trapped in one's comfort zone, and girls need to be encouraged to venture into unknown territory and transcend comfort so they can see their potential. And this is one thing I like always get, and it's like, okay, well, I need help with my girl's confidence, and I'm like really honest with people in the book. It's not my job to make your daughter more confident. I
Right.
can encourage her. I can show her what she's good at and get her strong, and just the way she deals with life and just help her navigate those things. But at the end of the day, the girl needs to take risks, and you get confident in your game by putting yourself in highly uncomfortable environments. And I give the example in the book, like when I was growing up, I used to wrestle with my brother's friends. I used to play with the boys, and these were very challenging environments.
Yep.
And those environments were harder than me playing soccer. So when I got to soccer, it was the easiest thing I did. Because you're so stimulated by a stimulus that is a higher intensity than your sport or what you need to get more confident at. So
100%.
I think this will light a fire within people, and they're going to be like, oh wait, like a trainer can't really help with my daughter's confidence. Like, it's really my daughter. She needs to try new things. She needs to take risks. She needs to get uncomfortable. She needs to lose. She needs to learn how to compete. It's all these uncomfortable things that make you more confident.
Preach, like absolutely, because that's so funny you said you were wrestling with your brothers. That's
Oh,
exactly how my upbringing was. We were like watching
yep.
WWE and then like
Yeah.
wrestling each other.
Dude, you're gonna open my book. That's the first sentence in the book.
No,
I'm not kidding. WWE.
that
You're
is
gonna die.
so crazy. That
Gonna
is so
die.
crazy.
That is so
Yes.
great. You were like imitating like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't believe you said that, because it's literally the first sentence of the book.
Dude, me and my brothers, like, and my sister too, we used to like wrestle each other. And it, like, my sister is the one who is the soccer player. And like you just said, like, she, like, soccer was easy for her. Like, she just like got on the field and played the game and like loved it.
Should be
And
the
she like,
easiest thing.
so that is so funny. Oh my goodness.
It really is. And I think that's like my second favorite passage, is just like the first paragraph of the book, because it's like, okay, like for all you parents who bubble wrap your girl from the neighborhood
Right.
play, you're wondering why she's timid on the field, go figure. So again, it's like, it's just a huge call out, but I think it's needed. I think people need to be triggered in order to make a
Yeah.
change. I mean, that's when I made the most changes in my life, when people triggered me and I had to really face where I was falling short. So I just hope the book does that for people.
I absolutely know that it will. 100%. There's no way. There's just so many things that go into like what we talk about, and like even though our books are so almost like opposite in a way, where like, you know, you're dealing with the female athlete and then I'm dealing with like overall health and people specifically going through cancer, we practically have the same message.
Personal responsibility.
Practically,
That's
you know,
really it.
it's really like eye-opening, and I really hope, even for myself, and I know for you, when you're doing the research, writing your book, you're reading these things and you're like, holy shit, like I always thought these things, but like, wow, this is like actual evidence, actual proof, you know, that it's out there and no one's like waking up to that.
And hopefully people just take that evidence and they just start to execute it in their own lives. And I really think our books are going to be powerful for so many people. And mine's also on Amazon as well, and Kindle and paperback. So we'll include both of our books in the show notes. We hope you
Yes.
guys enjoy. It's for every human on earth, young girls, parents of young girls. So just grab your copies And I think that covers it all.
Yes. Until next time, family.